Was okay, so I watched All Hallows Eve, Inferno, and let's just get right into it. So the first short, in Lucidity, was by far, actually not very by far, but was my favorite. Yeah, it had me questioning like a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Within the story, not like in my life or anything. I wasn't having like an existential crisis or anything, right? But I was just like, what's going on? You know, like especially I'm so fascinated with like dreams and what they mean in this part of my life, right? So for Eric to be having these night terrors and stuff, I was like, well, what did you do? Why is this thing chasing you? What is this thing? What is it? Like, what did you do? You know? And on top of that, I just wondered. It made me think. Listen, if there really was something like that, tool, whatever, technology, that can have you fight off your night terrors so you can just sleep peacefully and soundly, right? Do you really have the tools to be able to beat it? You know what I mean? Like, I know it gave Eric superpowers or whatever when he was able to fight back, but if this is something that is torturing you while you are sleeping, it means that it's something very deep within your psyche, right? So if you're not able to figure out what it is, the world when you're awake, right? Do you have the tools to deal with it when you're asleep, when you are in your subconscious? You know what I mean? In the unconscious, I guess. Like, do you have the tools to beat this thing for real? Like, can you really face it? You're facing it out of fear, but is that really a way to beat it? You know what I mean? So it was really interesting, and I know it was based off of something else that I have to look into. So yeah, I love that one. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good way to start it. Okay, the next short was Hammurabi, that eye for an eye for an eye law, or I guess in this case it was an ear for an ear, right? The story, super creative. I don't know. It was definitely something foreign to me and something new. I was like, whoa, like how do you even come up with that? You know? I thought the main character's speech towards her father, it wasn't even a speech. The fucking fact that she could like I thought it was so strong and then she wasn't even the one doing it. You know what I mean? I thought the story was fucking sad. And I love a good revenge tale, don't you? I know we all do. That's why we love like Kill Bill and all these other stories so much. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I was very into it. And I am just glad that it's a fucking story, right? Because it looks like the main girl is pregnant. So, I don't know, maybe she's also having some psychosis or something, right? Where she's like, the only way that I can live peacefully now is like killing my dad because now I'm gonna have my baby and I can't hear my baby and I'm not, you know what I mean? So I think that's what happened, which is just so sad. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. Okay, the next one is Bakemono, which, look, I'm really into like these folk stories. Is that even what you would call them? Regarding like spirits from other cultures, because obviously I'm not Japanese, right? But I was into it. I'm always into like learning about this stuff, and I'm always into learning about spirits and the other worlds through different cultures. So I thought it was really cool to be able to learn something new. And aside from that, I thought it was very sweet how this little girl, right, is trying to like feed these bad demons. Because I mean, she's a kid. She's like bad, good. Like it doesn't fucking matter really to a kid, right? Because she herself is a little rebellious right now, right? So I thought that was really crazy. Kind of like a warning tale also of being like, listen, you also have to know that some things are just bad. Like they just are. They're not going to change. You know what I mean? So the Bakemono ended up taking advantage of her kindness, you know, basically overtook her body. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Visually was very cool. This house was very like IKEA furnished, you know what I mean? Which is like not bad. It's just kind of nice because it leaves it very simple. So you can really just like focus on the story. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like that one too. Okay, the next one was Aftertaste. And this one was very like, I mean, the first word that comes to mind is dark. You know what I mean? I guess the story would be considered dark, but on top of that, it's also like the screen and everything. The restaurant, everything's so dark, you know? This girl taking over like her grandmother's job of feeding these spirits or whatever, right? So she's basically like, we already see that happening to her, where she's in this restaurant. She's taking these orders from this very aggressive chef, you know what I mean, who's like talking down to her. So she's like a slave to the people around her. Like, she's almost powerless, you know what I mean? So that's all I really got from it. Or I guess you could say she's powerful because she's the one that has to feed these things. Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't very invested in the story. I can't even pinpoint why, really, but it was interesting. And again, in Trial 22, which was just fun, you know, it was like a fun way to really end all the short films. Well, besides like the main thing, which just holds everything together, right? So Trial 22 was, like I said, fun. I think my favorite part was like that okay, let's start off there. My favorite parts were those fun socks that you get to see from that guy, you know, when he takes off his shoes. I thought that was like cool. I don't know, it was like a fun little thing. And aside from that, the watch going off in his hands when like he's about to just, you know, be okay, and then he's not. So yeah, I thought it was fun. That's all that comes to mind, really, you know. And the special effects makeup, yes, so good. I was very into it. And then the main story, which I guess is just called Inferno, right, ends up at the end taking us back to the trickster characters, right, where they're kind of just involved. And then along with like the trickster film, it's like, I don't know, what are the similarities? They're like in the middle of fucking nowhere, right? Except in this Inferno film, like there's a crash and this person going through hell in their mind. Maybe they did something bad too. I'm not too sure about that part, but it was definitely unnerving seeing all these things take her. It gave me very big like 𝘗𝘗𝘧𝘦𝘳𝘯𝘬 ladder vibes, you know what I mean? But I mean, yeah. So yeah, along with 𝘗𝘗𝘧𝘦𝘳𝘯𝘬, it's very like in the mind type things. Hell is within your mind. That's what we're gonna get from it. All right, peace.